AI 时代来临，你准备好了吗？是这样的，马上呢我要进行一个面试，面试官呢不是人类，是一个 AI。为了让 AI 打败 AI，所以呢我就把面试的这个职位的一些信息告诉了 GPT 5.5，让它呢告诉我应该要准备一些什么样的关键字，然后尤其是一些术语，因为我本身呢其实是在学术领域比较擅长的，在工业领域呢比较少，所以我希望它能够提供一些术语让我使用，能够让我很好的应对这一次的面试。GPT 5.5呢也很好啊，给了我非常非常多详细的东西。可是呢，你待会看这个面试你就知道了。虽然他给我这么多，而且我认真的去读了它一遍，把一些很关键的词语记在脑海当中，但其实用 AI 打败 AI 这一点，怎么说呢？好像还不成熟。你看，有这么多的问题和词语，而且呢，我把最后这个 best final position for you放出来，放在我的 iPad 上面了，想等一下也许可以偷偷的瞄两眼。我确实瞄了两眼，但其实效果不怎么样。那我们就来看正片吧。
Hi Jinwei, it's great to meet you. I'm Sophia from SME Careers, and I'm really looking forward to our chat today about the Chinese, simplified, quality assurance lead role. We'll dive into your experience overseeing quality and reviewing AI-generated simplified Chinese content. To start, could you share a bit about your background and how it relates to this position?
Sure, I would like to share my backgrounds and explain how my my education and the work related to this work. So my I'm now a postdoctoral fellow at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and now my work focuses on language processing, especially Chinese language processing. And before I joined this work, I obtained my PhD degree also in the at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and my dissertation study on how Chinese people process language. So it's on Chinese language, and all my master degrees and bachelor degrees are focused on the Chinese language and applied linguistics. So I think my training background is perfectly suitable for this work, which is on the Chinese language. And in my postdoc, during my postdoc work, I focus on one part of the work. One of my part of work is focused on how large language model process Chinese languages, for instance, the ambiguities. And in order to do this work, we need to we need to generate language stimuli and and provide this language stimuli as input for the large language models. So we need to annotate the language stimuli, and then we also need to evaluate how the large language models provide this kind of information. So in this case, I think I understand simplified Chinese language quality, and I understand the mainland China localization quality, and I can evaluate the language which is generated by the AI according to some rubrics. And also, I have the ability to evaluate the hallucination and the meaning errors and the output generated by the AI, whether this output follows the instructions or not. And also I can provide some feedback or improves the prompts in order to get the desired output. So I think, besides, I can also maintain the documentation and the style guidelines and the quality assurance processes. So I think I'm suitable for this job.
Thank you for sharing that overview of your background. It's great to see how well your education and experience align with the role. Now, could you please explain some common grammar, word choice, or sentence flow issues you've encountered in Mandarin Chinese writing?
Yes, when in the Mandarin Chinese writing, a very important issue is that we should use in the correct words to express the appropriate meaning in some specific context. For instance, are you in this context, whether you are going to speak to a senior person or you're going to speak to a junior person, and the matters in this case, you should use, for instance, 您 to the senior person, but 你 to the junior person.
Thanks for highlighting that aspect of Mandarin Chinese writing. Considering your experience, could you share some common localization issues that arise with simplified Chinese content?
Sure. So for the localization, it is not merely a translation. It needs to meet the culture diversity. I mean the culture specific environment in Chinese community. So in this case, the sentences we translate should be fit. For instance, there are some model words. I mean the must, may, can, this kind of model words, and it should be translated appropriately in Chinese using the word like 可能、大概、也许、必定, this kind of words. And also, since this is one point. Another point is about the language usage. So especially the simplified Chinese language and the traditional Chinese language. So for instance, in Taiwan, they will translate software to 软体, but in mainland, people use 软件 to correspond to the word software in English. So these two are the major issues I can currently think about on localization.
Thank you for those insights on localization challenges. It's clear that cultural and regional nuances play significant roles in the process. Could you provide examples of Taiwan or Hong Kong terms that would sound unnatural for mainland China users?
Sure. So previously, I give you an example is the 软体. So 软体 is software in English, but in mainland we use 软件. Another one is 影片. So you may say YouTube 影片, but this is only used in Hong Kong or Taiwan. But in mainland we say videos like in 视频. So we will say YouTube 视频 rather than YouTube 影片. And also like 计程车 is taxi. This is used in Taiwan, but in mainland people use 的士 or 出租车 to translate this kind of words.
Thanks for sharing those specific examples. They really illustrate the difference as well. Now, how do mainland China users typically handle English loanwords, transliteration, and technical terms?
So for the mainland China, people usually using people will not using people. So for some cases, if there is a very phonetically similar words, so mainland China people would use these kind of words. For instance, 可口可乐. So in English is Coca-Cola, but in a more natural natural setting, if we cannot find this kind of beautiful phonetically similar words, people would use in the words that can literally translating the meaning, but not the phonetic similar in this case. So this is about the loan words. And about the transliteration and the technical terms. So just like the loan words, people in mainland, people would like to use in the words or the morphemes, the characters that can stand for the for the meaning, for part of the meaning of these English translations. For instance, in some biological terms, like the serotonin. So serotonin is a biological terms, but we do not translate into 赛洛特宁, but we translate into 血清素. So if people read 血清素, people may have some basic understanding. Oh, it's about your body. And if we just use serotonin, using these phonetic similar words, then the Chinese people will not know the exact meaning. So in this case, for the mainland Chinese people will translate the words using the literal meaning rather than the phonetic similar words.
Thank you for your detailed explanation on how mainland China users approach loanwords and transliteration. Your insights into the translator's choice between phonetic similarity and meaning preservation are particularly noteworthy. Next, could you explain common simplified Chinese punctuation conventions used in mainland China?
So the common punctuation used in mainland China is that, so we use the comma, period, these types of these two symbols are the two basic punctuation usage in the sentences.
Thank you for mentioning those basic punctuation elements. How would you revise simplified Chinese content that is accurate but sounds translation-like?
What do you mean that content is accurate but sounds translation-like?
Could you please explain how you would improve simplified Chinese content that conveys the correct meaning but reads unnaturally, as if it were directly translated from another language?
Yeah, so I understand your question. So, yeah, this is in Chinese, we have a special term for this kind of translation-like words, which is the 翻译腔. So in this case, so if clients or if our clients want to sell his products in mainland China, it is better that there is no translation like sentences, because people will feel distance. So in this case, first of all, I would identify these translation like sentences, and then I would identify which word looks like or sounds like a translation. And then I would using more local-like or more culturally natural words to replace this kind of translation-like words. And then the final step is to read the whole sentences in order to make sure that the replacement do not change the original meaning from the source languages.
Thank you for clarifying your approach to improving translation-like content. It's crucial to ensure that the final output feels natural while preserving the original meaning. What makes mainland China simplified Chinese content culturally inappropriate or unnatural?
So what makes the mainland China simplify Chinese content culturally operate on or unnatural? So this is a good question. So in the Chinese mainland culture, we may focus on, for instance, if the clients want to sell a product that is focus on, the culture is different. The Western and the Eastern culture is different. If the clients want to sell a products that focus on the health, especially individual health, and then in this case, if the instructions or the advertisements of this product focus on too many aspects of the individual level and do not care about the family part, then this might be unnatural, because for the Chinese mainland people, we value more on the families rather than all the collective culture rather than the individualized culture.
It was great talking with you today. We've covered a lot, including your extensive background in Chinese language processing, your insights into localization issues for simplified Chinese, and how you would enhance translation-like content. Your understanding of cultural nuances and commitment to quality assurance are clear assets for the role. Thank you for your time today. This concludes our interview.
Thank you today.
Thank you. Bye.
我整体觉得我自己没有表现得很好，然后尤其是最后面的问题，我觉得答非所问，希望